welcome to Big Storm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I am Ben Slinger, and with me as always is Trevor Scott.
Hello, and we have another guest. I really got to say, Ben, we are so lucky with all these guests that we've had on.
I think this is 12 guests in a row.
Something like that. So today we have Laura Voss from Harmonious Games.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hi.
So, Laura, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I finished university at Swinburne in 2015, and with a few fellow students, we started up our own company, Harmonious Games. At the start of last year, worked really hard and released our first game about a month ago now, called Putty Pals on Steam. And yeah, I'm the creative director at Harmonious Games, and yeah, that's a bit about me, I guess.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a huge achievement that soon out of university. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we saw Putty Pals at PAX Australia actually back in October.
Oh, cool.
My, at the time, 2-year-old was really into it. So
Oh, awesome.
I haven't
Awesome.
picked it up for him yet, but I plan to do so soon.
Oh, cool.
It's more getting through the backlog of other games that we've had, but we both plan to pick it up because we've both got young kids, and
Yeah.
it just looks perfect to be able to actually play
Yeah,
cooperatively with them.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing is watching families play it. It's so cool seeing, I think it's awesome seeing a generation of parents come through who have been gamers for a long time because they're bringing their kids into it. And our game is kind of that perfect bridge of bringing parents who've been playing games for ages with their kids who are sort of starting out in games and playing stuff. I think it's really cool watching people play it and enjoy the experience. It's quite humbling to see.
No, it was great. I think it's the first game where he figured out that you could do two things at once, basically. He jumped, he jumped over a hole by pressing, right and jump at the same time. So
that's awesome.
that was really cool to see. So.
And I remember when Ben was telling me, it's this is literally the only game here that he picked up and just got it.
Really?
Almost instantly.
It was, yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's really nice to hear.
All right. Well, I think we'll get started. So we are going to play a little game that we call Click Pitch. And the way this works is all three of us have a random word generator in front of us. And when Trevor counts down 3, 2, 1, we're all going to click, get a new word. And based on those 3 words, we're going to come up with a game idea. And, hopefully it'll be fun.
Hopefully it will be a game.
Hopefully it will end up being a game. That's about all we hope for.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you won't hear it because we'll edit it out. All right.
Okay, so let's pull up our random word generator.
Mm-hmm.
And I count 3, 2, 1, and click.
Ooh.
Prohibition.
Oh. Okay, I've got rule. RULE.
Okay, rule. Okay, and I got telescope. So rule and prohibition are kind of
the same.
Yeah, they kind of cover the same ground. Telescope, though. I'm trying to think what sort of game mechanics you get out of a telescope.
Yeah.
Just sort of aiming at things, viewing things from a distance.
You're only allowed to view things in a telescope, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it's kind of a adventure puzzle game sort of thing. A bit of what's that movie? Rear Window.
Rear Window, yep.
Yeah.
But it's set in the 20? When was Prohibition? 40s, 20s? I should know this.
20s?
Yeah.
I think it's
20s, I think.
Yeah.
sometime early in the 1900s.
Speakeasies are definitely 1920s, so...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, what's that? Flappers and speakeasies and all that sort of thing. So yeah, maybe it's set in the 20s, but you're for some reason you're stuck in one room, but you have to sort of
maybe
view
you're
people from a distance.
like the cops who have to take down the speakeasies and the people who have alcohol. So you're just looking through your telescope, searching for people drinking.
Yeah,
or
okay.
something,
Or
and then it's just like
drunken people walking out of a flower shop or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so just basically like an observation-based game.
Yeah, it could be in VR. That'd be
Oh,
kind
Yeah,
of
that
cool.
would probably work well for that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very much about where you're paying your attention at any particular point
Yeah.
to make sure you don't miss things and that you see. Yeah, I wonder if there's a narrative around it, do you think? Or is it more of a procedural kind of...
Well, it could be narrative based because if it was like a point and click game, you could turn that into a very heavily narrative based game. And then like...
How do you do point and click in VR?
I don't know. Well...
It's like look and...
Well, that's what the controllers are for. You could probably like look,
that's true.
reach out, click, zooms in or something.
You hold down the triggers and you pull open, sort of like you're doing the pinch and all that sort of stuff from the touchscreen, except you're using your whole fingers just to zoom right in and go, okay, they're coming out of this particular place.
Well, I like just the physicality of lifting your telescope or binoculars up to your eyes as well.
Yeah,
so you can take them down and get a view of sort of the street, but no detail. But then you see something suspicious, and it's an actual act of bringing it up to your eyes and looking through.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's kind of neat.
So is it sort of like a steampunky 1920s where, like there's or maybe like a futuristic 1920s if you know what I mean? Like it's a different timeline that you've got like Minority Report sort of screens that you can sort of play around with, but so all the fashion is the 1920s.
It's the far future of the 2020s,
where people are dressed
basically
up.
Steampunk kind of.
It is retro.
Yeah,
they've gone back to dressing like the 1920s and it's the second prohibition.
That's definitely going to happen. At least the fashion. I'm sure in the 2020s
absolutely.
people are going to bring back the 1920 fashions.
Yes, because we see a lot of the 1910s for World War One fashions at the moment.
True.
Come on, it's not an iconic. Like the 20s are an iconic fashion period,
Yeah, true.
True.
But I'm just imagining.
I went to Halloween as a flapper once.
What?
As a flapper.
I went to Halloween as a flapper once. It was my best costume ever.
You have got to provide the photo for our listening audience.
Wow.
Oh, I may do. I don't know if I want that getting out there.
Okay, so back to the game.
Yes.
I'm imagining in the middle of this city, there's this massive tower, and it's like the police tower. Kind of like if you remember the game...
Half-Life 2.
No. I'm thinking, it was a Microsoft game, Crackdown. Remember how Crackdown had that massive police sort of tower right in the middle, and so at the start of the game, you're a police officer at the top of the tower. You got your binoculars out, and you've been sort of alerted to this one side of the city that there might be a speakeasy over there, and so because you're so high up, you can actually see all the neighborhoods around, all that sort of stuff, and you've just got to literally observe, and maybe you can tag a few people to see where they're going. And
yeah, I was going to say, I think tagging people like that is going to be important. The sort of what is like Far Cry does it and that sort of thing, where you can tag specific people and then you can sort of see them through buildings and stuff, so you don't lose them as easily.
Yeah,
but you could if we're going future, you could weave that into the narrative a bit and into the world building that, you literally do tag them. You somehow get their geocode or whatever, because everyone in the future is geotagged at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps there are places, like perhaps in the speakeasies,
they've got Faraday cages.
Yeah, well, they can block it. So if you're actually not watching them, you might have tagged them, and so you can track them. But if you don't literally see them go into the speakeasy, then they go off your radar.
That could be cool.
Yeah, you could have some really cool.
It'd be cool if your telescope had like biological readings or something, so you could see the alcohol content as a stat on the screen. Yeah. So you could see if like the alcohol content is really high, and you're like, "Ooh, dodgy."
Or maybe just to add a bit more strategy. You can't get that literally just from your telescope, but you can place like sensors around the city or something, or there are certain things you can put around, or you can send out I don't know, little
a drone or
robots
something.
Drones,
Yeah, that you have to be closer to read their alcohol content, so you can't, it's not as easy as just looking at them. But yeah, you have ways of at particular points or in particular ways that they've had alcohol at any particular point.
Yeah.
You see it ticking down as they like as their body works through it, metabolize it.
And in this world, the metabolism is like out of this world, so you can.
I was
only
just going to
catch them for,
say,
like,
it must
the
be
first
very good.
20, 30 seconds that they've left the speakeasy, and after that,
Well, or again, maybe it's another strategic thing. Maybe in this world there are pills you can take or something that metabolize the alcohol quickly.
It's sounding very Hunger Games-esque, like the capital where there's a cure for everything and some weird way of explaining stuff.
Yep,
sounds like fun.
Yeah,
it really does.
I actually really like this idea. It's cool.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Waffle.
Decorum.
Group.
Okay. So this is a social etiquette game about waffles, or maybe it's like waffles versus pancakes. That's everlasting battle, and it's about the ways that you pour the syrup onto them. Wait, so what was the second word we got? Waffle?
Decorum.
Decorum. Well, exactly. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So it's a syrup pouring game. And you have to make sure not to spill the syrup off your waffle, because the group will laugh at you.
Oh.
Jeez, haven't you eaten waffles before? What are you doing?
Wow. Decorum. That's such a
So I'm just
random
wondering
one.
whether you can come into the etiquette of how much syrup you're pouring on your pancakes versus your waffles, because obviously your waffles have those little pockets
the
that
ridges.
can hold the syrup.
Yeah.
Whereas literally the pancakes, it's going to dribble down onto the plate and all that sort of stuff. And is that...
Well, it depends how the pancakes are made and how fast because they'll start to soak in, right? Pancakes will soak in the syrup more than waffles will. You can tell I've thought about this at length.
And sorry, what was your word, Laura?
Group. A group. Yeah.
A group.
Like a group of waffles?
Well, no, I think you're around a table at a breakfast diner sort of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's ordered their waffles or pancakes. And by looking around at the group, maybe it's another VR game, you have to decide... Because you're trying to get in with this group, and they have really strong opinions about how much syrup you should put onto your waffles or pancakes, and so, and the method in which you deploy it. So you're looking
and then the
around
way
at
that
all
you
these
eat
other
it
people.
too, because I feel like the eating it would be the
absolutely.
hardest part. Like that's where the decorum would really
Dribbling
come into
syrup
play. It's
down
like,
your front.
like do you cut really tiny pieces first? And then,
And it changes depending on whether it's waffles or pancakes, because...
Do you lift up one
Because
pancake
of the,
and put syrup in between?
Do you cut a hole in the middle and then pour the syrup in the middle?
Yeah. Well, yeah, for a friend of mine when I lived in Vancouver taught me to basically... Best of both worlds, you get pancakes, but then you slice it into squares like a waffle, because then all the syrup seeps through into it and you just get a lovely amalgam of pancake and syrup.
I feel like we've just created a cooking show for the best way to eat pancakes and waffles.
Well, no, this is the thing. The group is judging you.
Yeah.
But all you have to go by is their facial expression. So, like, you're there cutting up your things and you look up and someone's just looking at you with this incredulous expression on your face. And so you know you've done it wrong for that person. And you're trying to ingratiate yourself into this group over the course of many breakfasts.
Oh, wow.
So I've just taken this in a multiplayer direction of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's got a VR mask on, obviously. You're sitting at your table, but pretty much everyone's got like almost, a dungeon master screen in front of their like pancakes.
Yep,
so you can set up how you want to set up your pancakes. So you can use the VR controller to actually cut your pancakes into those squares, and then after 45 seconds or whatever it is that you've had to set up how your pancakes are going to go, everyone removes their screens,
disappear.
and then that's when you all pour the syrup at the same time.
And so wait, what's the goal then?
The goal is to not be the person judged as like the messiest.
Oh, okay.
So
you
everyone gets to judge who they think is the messiest.
Okay, so it's just a judge. Okay, so you get to judge, or maybe is it messiest or just who did it the worst?
Like, who did it the worst?
Is there some specific metric that we're going for, or?
Well, it could be like could be say like who did it the neatest, and then who did it the messiest, and then like whoever did it the best is the most decorumist.
They have the most decorum of waffle decorum. You forgot about the second round, which is the eating, and that's when you've got the knife and fork that you're doing in there. That you can actually have a look at people at the end based off the syrup mechanics that you got in the game.
And each bite and each bite that you take, it gives you stats on like how syrup soaked that bite was. It's about efficiency of getting. Maybe it's about how much
pancake.
Maybe it's about the ratio of syrup to pancake / waffle.
And
I just really want to play a VR game where you can like physically interact with like well simulated waffles and pancakes. Like that sounds really fun. And then just pour syrup over it. I just really want to eat
them now. Like we just keep talking about waffles and syrup, and I'm like, man, I could so go for some pancakes right now.
I'm literally imagining behind these dungeon master screens, like someone creates like a waffle house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they pull it back, and when they pour the syrup over it, it looks like like a syrupy Christmas village or something like that. It's like, oh my god!
The thing is,
that's awesome.
But the thing is, they might win the first round, but that's not going to be the most efficient way to get syrup and waffles into you. Like that's going to fall to pieces when you start cutting it up. Whereas the person who's just like laid their pancakes or like sandwiched a waffle between two pancakes and laid it out in the exact right configuration to soak up as much syrup as possible, like they're going to get the most points.
Yeah, I think you got points for creativity. So the creativity of creating the waffle house, that everyone will go, wow, that was so creative. And then you'll go for most practical, or maybe you don't give for most practical because you don't want to have people having it just a pancake stack because that's just boring.
No, well, I think there's definitely there's a skill-based round in how you both pour the syrup and then cut up and eat it, where there are actual metrics of like syrup consumed per bite and that sort of thing, and that all adds up.
And then you got the bonus round, which is the butter round. Like, it's almost the tiebreaker. Like, it's like how much of the butter bowl have you got left?
Or...
Oh yeah. Yeah, all sorts of modifiers you could bring in.
Yeah, you could bring in like bacon as well. Or like people like fried chicken and waffles these days. We could just add in random other food sources.
That's DLC. That's DLC.
Lots of DLC. That's monetizing.
A BLT DLC.
Oh god. Oh boy.
And of course you can just throw waffles at each other and stuff.
Oh yeah,
just
it's one of those things that you can actually pick everything up and sabotage other people.
Yeah, you have to have that. Have to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Oh, man, I definitely want to play that. That's awesome. And I just want pancakes.
Yeah, I just really want pancakes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Minimalist.
Variety.
Haunt.
Haunt?
Yes.
Haunt?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to be a good one. I'm amused at minimalist and variety though, because I feel like they kind of are at odds. But
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, right away I go to because minimalist. I just think of the graphic style, some sort of nice sort of flat colors or blocky characters in some way.
Yeah,
and variety. I actually think of the multitude of like mini games and that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's
where
point.
I sort of go.
Okay. So some sort of ghost-based mini
variety
game.
The variety can be variety of play styles, maybe.
Yeah. So is there some sort of connective tissue between these mini games though? Like what are we?
Well, I suppose you could do the pretty like standard, got to get out of the haunted house type scenario, but you have to travel through each room, which has a different variety of play styles and games that you have to do or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to bring in the minimalism and how that would actually play out in this sort of game, and whether it would affect the gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, would this be suited to like a asynchronous multiplayer sort of game where maybe one person's playing the ghost and the other players are sort of teaming up to actually escape this house.
That's cool.
Or whatever it is. But the graphic style is very
well,
minimalist.
maybe okay.
Very
so
simple.
maybe when we say minimalist, we take the graphic style and maybe it's literally so minimalist to the point that it's like everybody is portrayed by like a single pixel. And so
whoa.
Yeah, so it's like huge, not huge pixels, but it's obviously low res, sort of top-down view of this house. And I'm not sure whether this will play into the variety of mini games or not, but your asynchronous multiplayer thing made me think of it, Trevor, because the idea that one person is playing the ghost as the other people play people trying to escape. And as a single pixel, like, you've got very little you can do, but maybe it's that you can kind of change the color of that pixel to blend into the background. And so it becomes almost this pixel hunting thing. You can hide yourself in a room because you're the one slightly off color pixel.
Oh boy. It kind of like made me think of Pac-Man for some reason. Because of like but instead of lots of ghosts, it's lots of people. And then like the ghost that's chasing them.
Oh, so we
kind of
flip
the other way
Pac-Man on
around.
its head.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's immediately what I thought of when all the tiny pixels and stuff came to mind. I was just like, is this Pac-Man? But the opposite.
That could be. It's basically multiplayer Pac-Man, but one ghost, multiple Pac-Men.
That kind of sounds like fun though. I'd totally play that.
Yeah,
it really does.
So is it just it's just Pac-Man gameplay though? You're just gonna get dots.
Yeah.
So you as a ghost, your idea is to try and find Pac-Man and take him out until he gets a power pill, and then you've just got to run like buggery.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing. Can you stop Pac-Man before he collects all the dots?
Yeah.
Can you bring? I wonder if we can bring in some new mechanics. So, as the ghost, like, can you kind of hide yourself? Do you have any way? Because if it's literally one ghost versus Pac-Man, like,
I'm thinking everyone plays a ghost, and the asynchronous comes from that one player who's Pac-Man.
Oh, okay. So we're not flipping it anymore. It's multiple ghosts and one Pac-Man. It's just multiplayer Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Multiplayer Pac-Man, but do you have the Pac-Man is AI?
Ooh,
no,
yeah.
you gotta have.
You could definitely have
Pac-Man.
everyone be a player for sure.
Yeah.
You just have to balance that stuff out.
This is similar to there was a game I think when the Wii U came out. I think it was part of their like pack of mini games,
Nintendo Land or whatever it was.
Yeah, Nintendo Land or whatever. Where it was basically this, where one person plays the ghost, and they're the person who has the Wii U screen, like the handset or whatever, whatever you call it, and everyone else just had the Wii controllers, and they were looking at the big screen, and so the person who was controlling the ghost could obviously see where they were, but the people who were playing the people couldn't see where the ghost was. So that's kind of that came to mind when you talked about asynchronous as well. That idea that the ghost has more information than the players.
That's really cool.
I don't know if we bring that into Pac-Man or what, but it's a really cool idea. It's really interesting being able to give one player more information than the other players.
Yeah,
maybe we go the opposite. Maybe we go the complete opposite and throw away minimalism, and it's a VR game. And so the person how would that work? The people who aren't in VR have more information than the person who is in VR because they can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
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 I don't know where I'm going. I'm just people.
I just had a thought. Like, the one thing that always annoyed me about Pac-Man was that most times that you see ghosts, they can go through walls and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But in Pac-Man, they literally had to follow the maze as well. So you can have that idea that you were having about the ghost being one ghost on many Pac-Men. But basically the ghost has no clip turned on.
Right.
So
the ghost
they
can go through the walls, yeah.
The ghost can go through the walls. They get maybe a little bit of information as to where the Pac-Man players are. But all the Pac-Man players have, like, you know, that thing from Aliens?
Like
the movie,
the
so they can
motion
actually
detector.
Yeah, but
Man,
the thing
I feel
is,
like we're throwing a lot of spaghetti at this wall.
Yeah, I'm
Not
just
sure
sitting here like,
I'm not sure much is sticking.
I'm just trying to come up with the game that I want to play.
I know. It's fine. I'm just we've gone all over the place on this one. I think we cut our losses.
Yeah. It feels like a pie, and you're just putting like every ingredient you've ever loved in the pie, and then the pie is just like this crazy concoction of food.
Yeah, it's probably not going to taste too good.
Either way, no clip turned on for the ghost.
Okay.
But they leave like the ectoplasm behind. So yeah.
Okay.
Take with that.
I feel like if we'd followed any of those a bit better down the right path, we could have got somewhere. But as it is, I think maybe it's a lost cause.
Okay, so I think it's about time to go into the Eye of the Storm.
So you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. Just search for Bitstorm, or on both it's /BitstormCast. Come along, tell us if you had ideas based on the prompts that we've had. Send them to us. Comment on our Facebook post. Send us on Twitter. We'd love to hear other people's takes on what we might have come up with, or what obvious ideas we might have missed based on the prompts that we do.
Yep, you can find us on iTunes and now Stitcher and Google Play. Oh, Google Play Music, isn't it? Yes, Google Play Music.
Something like that. I don't think it's actually even available in Australia to Australians yet. So,
probably not. But Stitcher and iTunes definitely.
Soon. Yeah, shoot us a review or subscribe to us there for updates to when we release new episodes. You can also find those episodes on our website, bitstormcast.com.
We'd like to thank Kurodust, of which we are previous members. They've provided us very kindly for free the music at the start and end of the podcast, as well as the music underneath the Eye of the Storm. So thank you very much. Us.
Us, yeah. And we'd also just like to send a quick plug out to Zencastr, Zencastr. They're a great website for recording podcasts, and we use those to record. We use them to record our guests. And yeah, Laura, do you want to just give us let our listeners know how they can find you?
Yeah. So my personal Twitter handle is @LCVoss, or just search for Laura Voss. I'm sure I'll come up, or one of my Facebooks will come up. You can search for Harmonious Games on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @Harmonious Games, and Putty Pals as well. Just @Putty Pals, and just our website is harmoniousgames.com, and you can find out all of the info that you want about our company and Putty Pals. So yeah,
great. We'll put all those links into the show notes as well.
Cool.
All right, let's get back into it.
Okay, let's go for another one. 3, 2, 1, click. Blemish.
Oh,
really?
Yep.
I got mole.
And I got raining, like it's raining outside.
Raining? Okay.
I changed it up. I went adjective and common this time.
Oh, okay, nice. Raining, mole, and blemish. So you're a mole.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, it's definitely got to go a
with
mole.
really bad acne.
Yeah,
well,
a blemished mole.
I was actually thinking maybe it's a game where you got a mole out in the garden whose whole thing
ruining your vegetable garden.
Is trying to ruin the garden, which is a blemish on this perfect street. So you as your player, you have to try and work out how to stop the mole from digging up the garden and all that sort of stuff. So you can lay down traps and all that sort of stuff.
Right,
But when it's raining is when, like, the gardener literally doesn't want to be outside. So that's when the mole can sort of get his parts, a little bit further. So if he wants to totally destroy the vegetable garden, he can do that while it's raining.
See, that's not bad, and maybe we'll come back to that. But where my mind went was, I feel like there's more fun to be had in playing as the mole.
Okay.
Just because you could have some interesting mechanics around digging your tunnels, and the rain could come into play in that you have to dig them in such a way that when it does rain, it doesn't just flood your entire tunnel system, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the type of mole you are is the very rare endangered blemished mole.
So am I the only one who like heard mole and thought like mole on a face?
Oh no,
I
thought that first, and then
okay.
I thought that particularly when Trevor said blemish.
Yeah, I
I
totally went.
I veered
like,
away on
the mole
purpose.
is the blemish on a face, and it's raining. And then you guys went in the garden and the mole, and I was like, yeah, that's a more like useful thought other than
I
moly
just
moly
didn't want
moly.
to double up with moly.
Yeah.
We had blemish already, so mole can go somewhere else.
I'm really liking your idea there, Ben, about going into tunnels and having to sort of construct them in such a way that, when it does rain, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's it.
flood
And I wonder, I guess it's just about, like, how technologically advanced is this mole? So are you having to, like, build structures under there to hold up your tunnels and make sure they're strong enough so that when it does rain, can we take it in that sort of level?
Yeah.
Where... maybe it could even be one of those games where you're sort of building these great systems so you can, you dig a hole straight down underneath the garden and you can put in like a conveyor belt that grabs the carrots or whatever from the garden, brings them down and puts them into a mine cart that brings it along. You could really,
Yeah, that sounds rad.
Yeah. And then yeah, so I don't know if it's one mole or maybe like a colony of moles. It could almost be like a sort of a base building sim game sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you are building these systems.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a mole as we know it. It could just be, a mole person, as in, they live below the surface of the earth.
Yeah.
And so...
And they live by stealing from people's gardens. And so on the surface, you've got a number of different gardens, and you have to, you've got to dig out your resources, build your systems that, to automate stealing from these gardens, basically.
I feel like my programmer would love this.
Yeah,
he loves Factorio and has been trying to get me to play it for so long. And I'm like, I don't know if I can handle all this system stuff. But if it was a mole living underground trying to get his carrots, I think I could get behind building a system for that.
Definitely. And then you've got
For
some
sure.
interesting things in there as well, because amongst your like civilization of moles, you have to determine if one of them's a mole trying to infiltrate.
and they're
steal
your
your
blemish on
ideas.
society.
They're your blemish. They're the blemish in your little mole society.
There you go, in the colony. It'd be cool too if you could set up traps in the garden for the humans so that they can't reach your systems that you've got in place to steal all the veggies. You can also set up defense systems and traps so the humans never make it to you or something. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that could definitely be part of the stuff you have to build is keeping them away, or maybe just like
distractions.
You've got sensors and things that you can put a sensor over here that if they break through that beam, your whole system just shuts down and like buries itself under the ground so they can't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a detection element that you have to do this all in secret and not be detected by the humans. But in the extreme case, that could definitely be also trapping them or knocking them out.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if they stepped into one of those like old school, like always in Indiana Jones type movies with the net on the ground.
Yes.
And they just step into it and then they get caught in the net in the tree hanging there and stuff like that. And then they just have to sit there and watch the moles take everything.
Just take their whole garden.
Yeah.
My cabbages.
Yeah,
I'm now picturing like the DLC down the track that actually brings into the human harvesting portion of it. So you realise that what?
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So you're literally trying to provoke the humans to come over and
You've realised
check
that
out this
human
thing.
flesh gives you more nutrition.
You put
Well,
out like
and,
burgers
turns out
and
that
chips
radishes.
and stuff to lure them, and just be like, "What's that? Oh, burgers!" Snatch them
burgers,
up
they come
and take them
over
underground.
and they get hit by like the air hammer to the back of their head, so that
Jeez,
they're
it's getting dark.
they're out like that.
Minimum-
and then,
minimum of
you got
pain.
Soylent Green.
Trevor, you took that dark, man.
That
Come on.
escalated.
I know, but it's DLC. It's not part of the normal game.
Oh, it's like when Call of Duty brings zombies in. Is that
Exactly.
Is that it? Well, there you
just
go.
have
Zombies
me-
in it. Maybe they come back as zombies.
Yeah, but
As if
they
we don't
get
have
eaten
enough
first.
zombies in games.
But no, I like the idea of having the civilization that underground, the whole blemish mole idea of having a mole who's actually a spy for another mole organization. Just trying to steal
you're competing
your
with
ideas.
other colonies. This gives me really good flashbacks to things like Sim Ant,
Oh God.
but with much
Yes.
more interesting mechanics.
Yeah, so obviously Mole Hill is something to do with you got to minimize how many you actually leave in the garden, otherwise they realize that there are
moles.
there are moles there.
You have to deal with exterminators and
Yeah.
So what I was actually thinking is, with the interface on the screen, do you actually know how close to the surface you are?
Ooh.
So is it one of those things that you can only tell not through something saying on the UI saying that you're 5 meters deep at the moment, but more you got to look at the actual structure of the clay or whatever it is around you, and you start learning. If it's getting rather loose, then that you're near to the surface, so you got to be very careful not to break through. Otherwise, you create a molehill.
That would be really cool.
that you then have to clean up if you don't want to be detected.
Yeah, because I think nowadays, like, a lot of games give you too much information on the screen, information that you normally wouldn't have, because you're a mole under the ground. How would they know how close to the surface they are?
Yeah, I do like that idea of that you have to learn by environmental clues
Yeah.
based on
I think it like you'd learn from your mistakes too by breaching the ground, and then you'd be like, "Oh shit, no."
That's it. Yeah, it's one of those things where you get better as you play it because
exactly.
you're learning about you're just getting better at the game and picking up information that the game's giving you. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, I was thinking of this more of a God view sort of thing once we got to multiple moles and building up big colonies and stuff. But it could be interesting if you're just playing like the head mole, and so you literally have to do all the digging yourself, and
Yep.
you can only see. You don't get that overall view necessarily of your entire colony.
Yeah, kind of like if you remember Red Faction, how you could create like holes in the dirt and all that sort of stuff, and sometimes as you're blasting your way through, you didn't know where you were about to hit. You just sort of had to.
Or even
had
I
to-
mean, just Minecraft, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a real aspect of that in Minecraft where you can get lost through digging.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like
maybe
that a lot.
maybe later on you because as you go up the tech tree, you build your like sonar device so you can get a view of your entire colony later on.
Yeah.
End game.
or you do that thing that some of the other games do, where you've got all that sort of power at the start, and then they go, well, back in my day, like maybe you got Grandpa Mole going, well, back in my day, and it goes back in time, and he's got like no technology or anything like that as he's talking to the kids.
Just his trusty shovel.
His spade.
Well, I really like that. I think
That's cool.
Really cool.
Yeah,
idea.
that's really cool.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Fresh.
Platform.
Culmination.
Culmination. That's a great descriptive word for a game. Culmination. Well, I mean, that could just talk about, like, it's a game where things come together at the end into the climax. They
Yeah.
culminate in some way. So it's a fresh Prince of Bel-Air platformer. You don't like that idea? Come on. You could have levels where you get flipped turned upside down and you have to go back.
No. All I'm imagining is like this old like NES ROM hack that is like it's just Mario levels, but it's just Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sprites.
Yeah. They've just hacked in the theme song into the background in like.
And it's the only thing that plays throughout the entire game. There's no variations on it.
Over and over.
But it culminates in like this amazing couple of levels where the entire world does get flipped upside down, and you've got to go all the way from where you were all the way back to the start. And it's all upside down this time.
So like from Bel Air to Philadelphia, is that how it goes?
Yes.
Oh,
I may be looking at the lyrics for the theme song. I don't know them off by heart.
Wow.
And I'm just picturing it ending on like a really pixelated version of like Carlton doing his dance at the end.
I wish I knew Fresh Prince of Bel-Air better, because like I never watched it.
We're showing our age, Trevor.
Yeah, I just realised that if you only finished uni in 2015, that when did you finish uni, Ben?
2002.
Yeah, a little bit of an age gap there. So maybe not Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. What else?
Okay. Well, let's see. Well, let's take it somewhere else. So fresh, I think fruit or vegetables.
Yeah,
same here.
That's what I think too.
Past one. Platform. Platform. I just think of a platformer, and we haven't done many platformers. What can we bring new to platformers, to that genre?
Well,
nothing.
That's the eternal
3D.
question, isn't it?
Not 3D. No.
3D's been done. 2D's
Right, so something
been
about
done.
fresh. Something about freshness.
Freshness.
So it's a fresh take on platforming. It's in
Doesn't help.
4 dimensions.
Well, that's kind of just like Braid or something, right?
5 dimensions.
Let's just keep adding dimensions until we get something new.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to like platformers used to be my favorite genre when I was a kid. You know, an early teen, and some of the earliest air quotes game design that I did was me drawing up levels of platform games that I wanted to make, and I was always the main character is always some cool kid on a skateboard, and it was
fresh
just
as hell.
Well, there you go. It was fresh.
I actually made a platformer in second year at uni with a group of people, and you were on a pogo stick, and you were just, for some weird reason, you traveled through dimensions to strange places, but you had to constantly bounce on the pogo stick, and
you had no choice.
Yeah, you had you couldn't get off the
Yeah.
pogo stick, and the pogo stick had a face and a voice, and
Oh, cool.
you were just on some weird ass journey with this pogo stick that could talk, and you collected junk food for health, and yeah, it was bizarre. So you never know with platformers. You can do some pretty weird stuff.
That sounds, except for the fact that you can't get off the pogo stick, that sounds exactly like Commander Keen.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say it was very Commander Keen.
None of us had ever played it.
Well, I was going to say that the age gap, Trevor. Like, it's before their time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, pretty
a lot of
much.
people must have been thinking about Commander Keen at that time.
Yeah.
and you know, the world consciousness.
Yeah.
That's how it came back to you. But yeah, let's take this kid on a skateboard being fresh as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes, finally, my game from like year 8 is going to be made. Just give me a second. I'll pull out my old piece of paper where I drew in like HB pencil, so they can't even be read anymore.
It'd be cool if it was more like the hoverboard from Back to the Future.
Okay, that's even better. That's fresh as hell.
Yeah.
That's fresh. Totally fresh.
Yeah. Because then you can do some like cool flying tricks instead of just like your kick flips or whatever.
That's how you can bring in your like I think you bring in your wall jumps and
Yeah, exactly.
you get a bit more verticality in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you've got a boost. Maybe Back to the Future style, you can strap on power.
And you could turn it into kind of like a scooter with handlebars for like fully sick tricks and whatnot. Like, so maybe you can go in the ceiling, but if you've got the handles, you can like hold on and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You get scores based on how many tricks you're doing, but also it's a traditional platformer in that you're like bouncing on the heads of enemies and things.
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool.
All right, who are the bad guys? Parents. That
people
probably would have been the case.
People who are literally like 13 years older than you.
Oh yeah, well in high school it probably would have been like bullies. Or parents, or girls.
Hey. What if it was literally like all of the people who tell you to get off the hoverboard in the first place? Like grumpy old people who are like yelling
get off
at
my
you.
Lord.
Yeah,
shaking
exactly.
Their fist.
Like, get off your hoverboard. Go to do something worthwhile. And you literally just bop on their heads until they like get stunned or whatever with the stars going around, and then you just keep going. And you get bonus points for tricks and stuff. So,
which is just, of course, a metaphor for you convincing them that your point of view is also relevant and that they should. But in game, you just bounce on their head until they get stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not condoning violence or anything.
No, not at all.
Against the elderly.
Okay, I think we've got to keep
Yeah, okay.
It's not really going anywhere.
I don't know. There's some more stuff there.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. Prosecute.
Local.
Separating.
You're a divorce lawyer.
Where's the prosecution?
Although I guess you don't really
in?
prosecute. Yeah, I know. There's not much prosecution there.
Well, you could just be a prosecutor in a small town, hence the local.
There aren't many.
Sort of thing.
There
and
aren't.
You're separating.
Cool.
You're separating the dodgy people from all the
That's
all the rest of the people.
Okay. All the rest of the people.
Well, maybe you just have to take like divorce cases to make, because it's such a small town. There's not that much crime, so you have to take on divorce cases.
Because of the one other lawyer can't actually do both
Divorce.
of those.
They're just not very good.
But they can't do both sides.
Oh right, they can't. Yeah.
Oh
That's it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I like this actually. You could bring some interesting narrative and sort of dialogue stuff into this.
Yeah, you could create interesting characters.
Do you just play from your desk and then you have some courtroom scenes? Or what are you thinking?
Or it could be like Ace Attorney. Have you played that?
Yeah,
I've played some of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so in that, you to find out more information about the cases, you have to go to different areas in different scenes and then investigate the scene to find out more information that you can then use in court.
Yeah.
That's what Ace Attorney does. So you could do something similar.
I like the idea that you're a prosecutor and so you've got sort of, one or two big cases, but the way that you find information about what's going on in this small town is by handling all the divorce cases in between.
And you're handling it for maybe the wives and they're giving you some gossip.
Well, that's it. Or it's just finding out information about the people in this town. Although I don't know why this town has so many divorces if they don't have that much crime. But
Just a lot of unhappy people.
Maybe it's not all divorces. Maybe it's just that you're a lawyer and you handle a bunch of different cases.
There's civil, there's some separations, there's some...
Yeah.
Yeah. But that could be really interesting because you get to know the people in the town, right? And across handling these cases. And each case in itself, I mean, and this is kind of Ace Attorney-ish, I think, is its own challenge and its own little story, but it also contributes to your overarching
story.
Big murder case or whatever it is.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right, I've got it, and I've got something to really switch it up.
Yep.
We bring it into it's the same. It's exactly the game we were talking about, but it's set in like a fantasy world with wizards and shit.
That's brilliant.
Just to make it that little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And
That'd be great.
You play a woman called Veronica. Some come up with a last name.
Fizzlesticks.
Fizzlesticks. That's awesome. Yes. Veronica Fizzlesticks, wizard lawyer, and you're in this small village, and yeah, someone's been Avada Kedavra. And that's why you're brought in, but so your first little while is you're investigating it, but your lead, the case goes cold, the leads go cold, and so you stick around and you're doing all like the local law cases. So and so stole the mandrake root from my garden, and he stole my potion recipe, or divorce.
She cursed me.
Yeah, trying to separate the giants from like the dwarves,
the trolls. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm loving this,
but it's all building towards you prosecuting the final case and piecing it all together.
So I'm just wondering, does it have like some D&D mechanics in battles and stuff like that, or definitely not?
No. I think you only see the aftermath of battles when like someone comes with an assault charge against someone.
I think it's like this is the kind of game that would be more about like what you were getting at before with the dialogue stuff. I think it would be more a game about choosing the correct response to diffuse a situation. And if you don't choose the correct response, that's when like shit hits the fan, and it creates more work for you in the long run as the only wizard lawyer kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It takes you away from you might lose certain information about the big case, or so you have to work harder and get it from elsewhere.
Yeah.
You could bring in some really good fourth wall breaking stuff though, Trevor, like around the D&D stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got an idea for in Ace Attorney. They keep on bringing in new mechanics that the different characters, depending on who you're playing at the time, can actually do. And I was thinking, maybe during the courtroom or during the investigations, you can cast a zone of truth on someone, and they've got to tell the truth.
Yeah. You've got limited spell slots that you can use to fire off your lawyer spells.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. A persuade potion or something as well.
Yeah.
Invisibility to like you can cast invisibility and just sneak around and get some information from this conversation that's happening over here.
Yeah.
But if you fail your
stealth check.
Then you get caught and you don't get every piece of that conversation.
Yeah, because I imagine this could be a real challenge for the programmers, just mixing these RPG procedural elements with actually making a narrative work. But hey, that's up to them.
Yeah, exactly.
We just come up with the ideas.
Exactly.
You bringing in the whole D&D wizarding mechanics is probably the best part about that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it felt like it was getting a little dry. I had to mix it up a little bit.
I mean, I so want to play, an Ace Attorney game based in Phandalin or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Neverwinter.
And you could make it really comedic and have some pretty funny animations. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
having a dwarf and a giant couple who it just so happens that it's a male dwarf with a female giant who are just they're having a bit of a lover's tiff, and you've got to try and organise their divorce or something like that, or their couples counselling when you realise that they still do actually love each other.
So you have to go and find a ladder.
Oh, it's so good.
So many things that I can picture in this game that
and
you could really play around with the whole relationship thing between all the different classes.
Yeah.
Get a bard, and you got a wizard over here causing mischief. You've got.
Well, I wonder if you could choose your own class as well when you start. Like if you can roll your own character to begin with.
But they're always going to be a prosecutor.
You roll the stats of Veronica Fizzlesticks beforehand, and so she could be a bard, or she could be a wizard, or she could be a barbarian. And it changes the way that you approach all the different options you have as you approach these different
That is really cool. That'd be
different
fun.
cases and stuff. Yeah.
Adds replayability as well, because you'd be like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
What does a wizard play like? Oh, what is the rogue like? How do they handle it?
That'd be awesome.
Backstab.
The
That'd
ranger.
be great. Yeah.
The ranger brings in like animals to help calm people
Yeah.
down, help our animals.
Yeah. A barbarian
can-
would use scare tactics or something, like
Yeah,
intimidation.
intimidation and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I'm gathering that you can also choose your class, so you can be like a half orc or a an elf or a dwarf.
Oh, yeah,
or
that'd be good.
Choose your race, yeah.
half giant or something like that.
Does it change your perspective?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could
it'd have
change
to be-
how
I
you
think it's gotta.
communicate, though. Like, if the giants hate the half giants because of, like, mudblood
yeah,
type
yeah.
thing, then that makes it more difficult to communicate with them. Because if you're a half giant, then you're not going to
Yeah, they're
communicate
not
with
going to be
giants
as
well.
open to you. Or,
Yeah. Adds so many layers. This game just, can keep going.
Oh god, we could keep making stuff. I'm just going back to that idea of different perspectives though, because I just love the idea of viewing over your desk as a dwarf. Like you can only just barely
Yeah.
see over the top of your desk at these people's things.
Sitting on a pile of scrolls or something.
Yes. Awesome.
I love it.
All right,
Okay.
let's do one more
One
click
more.
pitch and then our final segment.
Cool.
Yes, 3, 2, 1, click.
Garble.
Craft.
Jest.
Jest. Jest, craft, garble.
Garble.
Hmm.
What actually does
That's it.
garble mean?
Well, I guess like garbled speech, like mixed up sort of thing.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if it's a game where, now bear with me, it's going to take a little while.
Okay.
You're playing as high school students, setting up for the prom, and you as your character, you're trying to play a joke on everyone, where you're going to garble up the letters on all the posters and that sort of stuff to try and, well, just maybe sabotage the prom because you don't want anyone
you're a
coming to the
rebel.
prom because of you're a rebel, or your mum was Carrie and went psycho at a prom, and therefore you got something against the prom. Because I was thinking, you could actually have the craft is getting everything done for the prom, just being playing the joke, and garble being you're trying to garble up mix up all the words or mix up all the posters and mix up dates and that sort of stuff. Thing is, you've got to do it surreptitiously so that they don't realize that it's you that is causing all these problems.
Okay, so it's a high school based stealth game.
Yep.
All right, I like that to begin with. There aren't enough games set in high school. Well, there are probably enough. I'm just thinking. I do like the high school angle. Yeah, I'm not sure where to bring the kind of gameplay in, right?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of as well.
So I was thinking you could actually be, trying to work out how to actually change the posters round when people weren't looking, but also make it
Right.
so that it's not that other people can actually notice that you've done that.
Yeah. I guess it's just how does that work? Is it specific people that have to know? Because there's people everywhere at school. Is it that you have to sneak out of class
Yeah.
to do it? Break in at night?
Do it while other people are being talked to by a
Distracted.
teacher and distracted, and I don't know, you got a few ideas on how to.
There are a few
how to do
options.
that.
Yeah.
Unless it was like you're part of a sports team or something, and then you're purposely trying to make them not win without anyone noticing somehow.
Well, maybe you're on the cheer squad, and you know how they like hold up the letters and stuff.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to somehow make them spell the wrong thing.
Yes, exactly. You supply
There you
all
go,
the wrong
there.
letters or something.
That's it. There's your hook. You have to like sneak in and switch letters around that the cheerleaders are going to grab to make them just
Yeah.
say curse words or something.
Yes. And the more creative, the better.
Yeah. Or like it's one of these schools that goes all out, and they have like the marching band that moves
Yes.
very accurately to like make pictures and spell things out as well, and so you have to like sabotage their plans. So no, this person isn't going to go there, they're going to go over here, and it spells something different. And it's all about garbling words.
Yeah.
So
That's good. I like that.
I'm just wondering, are you trying to do it to your own school, so you're sabotaging your own school, or are you sabotaging
it's
the
like
other school?
I like that. Yeah, it's a
Rivalry.
competitive thing. Rivalry, yeah. That's cool. This is very American school.
It is, isn't it?
I guess there's so much of our culture comes from that, but
Yeah.
they do kind of have a rich rivalries and things. Yeah, okay. Can we get mascots involved? Is there like stealing the mascot?
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
maybe
That's
one of the ways
missions.
to actually do it, you can steal their mascot costumes, and then you can literally walk through their area without anyone noticing that you don't actually go to their school because you're in the mascot uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this as a Hitman game, but you're not actually killing people.
You're just
but that
trying to
same
sabotage
sort of
the
gameplay,
other
like
team.
it's like Hitman High School Edition, so that you can disguise yourself and just get through without being noticed. And
It's kind of
sabotage
like
their plans.
being the ultimate jester at school, or like being the ultimate class clown. It's kind of the vibe I get from this. It's like, how many pranks can you pull to screw things up for everyone without being caught, kind of thing.
And maybe that's how you can like incapacitate people and stuff. As you're trying to, your main mission is, all right, switch up the playbook for the marching band so that they spell out fuck Riverside or whatever their school's name is.
Yeah.
But to do that, you can like steal mascot costumes, or you can throw, fart bombs, or you can, all those sorts of schoolyard pranks.
Yeah.
Give people wedgies.
Yeah.
Maybe you get scored based on how much you bully other people versus more harmless style pranks as well.
I'm just wondering if you can change the music that the walking or marching band are playing to some heavy metal or something like that. But
yes,
all of a sudden they start playing Smoke on the Water or something like that.
Yeah, you just switch out their music. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I like that. That's cool. We saved it. We saved that idea.
It actually ended up being pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hitman High School. Cool.
I quite like that. Okay, Ben, would you like to explain to Laura what our final segment is?
Yes, I would. So in this one, what we do, and since you are working for a game development company, we're going to take the game that you are working on, or in this case, probably most recently we're working on, unless you've got a new game that you want to announce on our podcast.
I don't.
Okay. So we're going to take your most recent game, Putty Pals.
Yeah.
And we're going to throw away everything we know about that game except the name. And we're going to come up with a new game just purely based on the name, using the name as a prompt.
Okay.
So I had a little think about this because I knew it was coming up.
Cheating.
I know, it's a little bit cheating. It's not quite improvised. And we've already talked about the age gap. How familiar are you guys with Seinfeld?
Pretty familiar, but I don't like remember everything about it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty familiar
on Seinfeld, and I'm not sure the spelling is exactly right. I don't know how they spelled his name, but there was a character called Putty. So basically I'm thinking it's a game about all the Seinfeld like side characters, and maybe it's a point and click adventure or something, and it's their
all
point of view. Yeah, it's Newman, it's the soup Nazi.
Yeah.
It's
all the girlfriends.
Like Elaine's boss and stuff.
Yeah. What was his name?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can remember
Peterman.
his face.
Peterman, I think.
Yeah.
And it's their point. I don't know if you've maybe follow some of the episodes of Seinfeld, or if it's completely new stories where you get cameos from the main cast, but it's just about the adventures of Putty and Pals. Yeah, I don't know where you go. I guess it's the only thing I thought of was point and click adventure, but that was my idea.
Okay, now let me throw my idea at you, Laura.
Okay, all right.
Did you rethink this too, Trevor?
No, just as you were actually talking about it, I started thinking, okay, in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Okay, bear with me. The little henchmen were called putties.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
thinking, you literally play the putty henchmen trying to beat the Power Rangers. It's putties,
So it's like-
Putty Pals, and they're all trying to gang up on all the Power Rangers, and they keep on losing. So it's sort of like, can you actually work out a way in this beat 'em up to actually beat the Power Rangers? But it's almost like
So in a
Dark
game like
Souls
that,
sort of
were
level,
they? Well, I was
level
going to say,
hardness.
they were presumably kind of little minions, like they were pretty weak. I didn't watch
Yeah.
the show, so I don't really know. I wonder if there's more of an aspect of you're not playing a single one.
No, you're playing the entire group.
You're playing, yeah, almost like a Pikmin style thing, or
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be interesting how that would work in a beat 'em up.
Mm.
So if you've got an idea there, Laura, then
Yeah, we just like blasted our ideas at you.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, it's so hard to like separate myself from the
From
game.
your own game. Yeah.
The thing that I always think about when I think about putty is actually like the stuff that builders use. You know, for
Okay.
like actual putty that you
Like
seal
building
things.
yeah.
So maybe it's just like some hectic game where you have to fill all of the gaps in stuff, like with like the putty stuff.
okay.
I don't know. And like you and your pals have to like fill the gaps as fast as you can or something bad is going to happen. So it's kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
it could be like a really quick kind of arcadey type feeling game where you've
was
only
gonna
got a certain
say,
amount of time
yeah.
and you've just got to putty everything really quickly and the screen could be really chaotic.
I picture that as a really old school, like bubble-esque era
Yeah.
kind of single screen arcade game with like 2 to 4 players jumping around with their putty guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't take it that way. I took it as a VR game. You're running around literally in room scale, just trying to like.
Oh god, trying to find all the leaks.
So literally 4 people in VR, not in the same room, but playing over different places. You've got a major flood coming, and you've just got to putty up all the windows and all that sort of stuff in this house. So you choose a room, you run around, and you got like your Selly's sort of gun and
Yes,
going
yeah.
along.
Liquid nails.
Liquid nails,
Yeah.
pretty much. I could just imagine how much fun that would be, and you've got a timer of the flood is going to hit in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
This is another case, and I like that, Joe. This is another case where, and I haven't played a lot of VR myself, but VR seems to make everything fun because the mechanics of squeezing putty out, and like you can't do it too fast because it like gets too thin. Like you have to squeeze it out the right rate and move your hand at the right rate so you're getting a nice even seal.
Yeah.
That actually sounds really appealing to me in a game, which is ridiculous because I would never want to do that like on my own house.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be pretty fun. I can just imagine that there'd just be putty stuff everywhere because no one would be doing it right because everyone's trying to rush and you just have all these
Yeah.
leaks and then there'd be piles of putty on the wall that didn't quite work. That'd be fun.
It would be so much fun.
Just to make it more video gamey, like, video games you tend to want to do things you can't just do in real life. Maybe instead of a flood coming, maybe it's like a plague of insects or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yep.
It's these like tiny little gnats that they're like flesh eating gnats or something, and there's a cloud of them coming, and so you have to putty up this house, seal it up as best you can, but as the cloud comes past you, like, inevitably you won't get all the leaks, and so it becomes a bit more of an action thing. That
of how
you've-
long can you
you're-
survive?
Well, yeah, you're all in this one room because you think you've sealed it up, and suddenly they start coming in the corner of the room. It's like, oh crap, you got to go out the door and then try to seal up the door that you've just come through really quickly to like stop them getting through.
That could be
Yep,
fun.
I really like this idea. I've got ideas for like unlike reality where one of those Selly's liquid nail thing, they last forever. You've literally only got a small amount. You got to like take it out and get the new one, and locked and loaded in, and
Yeah.
Oh god. And you can like, someone's trying to seal up a door that's really important to get sealed because they're coming through in the other room, and they run out, and so one of their friends has to like pull their canister out and throw it to them, and they got to catch it in midair and slam it back into their putty gun.
That
Oh,
sounds
that'd be so
really
much fun.
fun.
Awesome.
Well, that turned out well.
That's really cool, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, well, I think we'll finish it up there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Laura. That was great.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Some really good ideas there.
Yeah, it was awesome. I might have to note some of those ideas down.
Definitely. Steal them.
Yeah.
Steal them, make them, give them to your programmers.
Veronica Fizzlesticks. The Adventures of Veronica Fizzlesticks.
Oh, it's a series. That's a new IP. We can build a
absolutely.
franchise off of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Thank you for joining us today on Bitstorm. Laura, do you want to give us... Laura, do you want to tell our listeners where they can find you on the internet and such?
Yeah, for sure. So my personal Twitter handle is @LCVoss. My company's is @Harmonious Games. And there's one for our game as well, which is @Putty Pals. We also have a website, so just harmoniousgames.com. Oh, and you can find us on Steam. There's links on Twitter and on our website, so you can easily find it there.
Yep, great. Go buy it. It was a lot of fun when I played it at PAX, and I'll definitely be picking that up soon for my little one.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to say thank you again because I did fuck that up, didn't I? Thank you for joining us today on Bitstorm. I am Ben Slinger.
I am Trevor Scott.
And I'm Laura Voss.
So, a game where you're pretty much playing Ace Attorney in the D&D world.
I'd play that.
Yeah. I definitely play that.